105 FM. I'm delighted that there was a good turnout for the turkey giveaway today. And also today is Thanksgiving Day. Bahamians celebrate with the Americans, giving thanks to God for his many blessings. There was also talk about the Bahamas having its own Thanksgiving Day. And I think we can organize that perhaps for next year. Perhaps not during the time when the Americans have theirs. We probably could do it in a month, say maybe October, September, October would be a good time to do it. And so you can celebrate both the American Thanksgiving as well as the Bahamian Thanksgiving. We used to have what was called harvest. I think we kind of got sidetracked. Sometimes we get confused. And we have to develop things Bahamian in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas as we move forward, getting ideas from young people, from the middle-aged people, from the elderly people, and all of us putting our ideas together, and helping to build the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We have a nation to build. There are many things to be done. I'm waiting for my special guest to come today, Brother Cartwright. He normally comes out on Thursdays. I'm sure he should be here soon, but we have to move on nevertheless. But the thing is, it's a good day in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. In fact, I understand it is the greatest little country on the planet to be born in the Bahamas. I heard some people were talking about that earlier today. And everybody being born in the Bahamas is not a citizen. Let me make that very clear. But those who are genuine citizens in the Bahamas, where you were picked out of less than 500,000, 300,000 people. You got some countries that have tens of millions of people, tens of millions, some hundreds of millions, like India and China, hundreds of millions of people. You're one in that big number. But in the Bahamas, we are blessed to have a whole nation, not a territory, not a part of somebody else, protectorate, or any such thing like that. We are a sovereign, independent, democratic, theocratic state. Because God is our God, the God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. While we may have relationships with other entities, our neighbors, surrounding nations, and so on, we can have relationships with them, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But we have to learn to disagree with them when they try to give us things that are not to our best interests. We have to say no. There are some things, Bahamians, if we're going to be under God, we have to tell them no, right off the top. No discussion on that. That's not the way we're going to build this nation. And that's the kind of leadership we need to have. Now, of course, our leadership is being challenged and tested. Of course, you've heard about the many things that have been happening in the police force, the defense force, and other agencies of the state where trust is being questioned. Can you trust the Royal Bahamas Police Force? Can you trust the commissioner? Can you trust the cabinet? You know, the Prime Minister made a speech in the House of Assembly. And I said to you, excuse me, analyze the speech that he gave. Look at it very carefully and let us see how he intends, or him and his government intends, to deal with this pressing national issue involving police officers and people from Defense Force office. We also have some people in Canada who were arrested, who had absconded from the Bahamas and committing crimes over there and commit crimes here. So which nation you're going to try them and punish them in? But they've been arrested in Canada, and some people have been arrested in the United States. Boca Raton, Florida, that's what One caller told me yesterday. I wasn't sure exactly which part of Florida, but I understand it's Boca Raton, Florida. I'm not quite sure which province in Canada it happened. But nevertheless, some people were arrested in Canada. A number of persons who are said to be Bahamian. Now, Bahamians, you have to be very careful of these particular personalities who purport to be Bahamian. They may not be Bahamian, you know. But there are some people who will say, well, the last port where they came from was a particular place. But you do have some people who are purporting to be Bahamian citizens. Now, if they're Bahamian citizens, fine. We have to deal with it. The Prime Minister said that he's going to get on this particular issue relating to the indictment that has been carried out in the United States on a high-ranking police officer. You mean to tell me persons who are supposed to be having high positions in the Royal Bahamas Police Force giving trouble? Who ought to know better? Who ought to know how to behave? And I understand from the indictment, I heard it said on the radio, tons of cocaine passing through from South America into the Bahamas and on into the United States. Perhaps maybe from Colombia. So we were having law enforcement personnel who are supposed to be protecting the borders of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Some of these things come by land, no, by air and by sea. There was plenty of water out there. We know that we are a nation with plenty of water, plenty of islands scattered all over the place. And we should have been working on protecting the water that God gave us and the islands that God gave us. We have to be up to it, Bahamians, because this is our territory. That's how God set it up, to our advantage. But we haven't been using it effectively as we should. The government of the Bahamas is responsible for the security and the protection of the Bahamian people through the law enforcement agencies like the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, Customs, Immigration, prison officers, and so on. Have we fallen down on the job? What are we going to do? Now, the Prime Minister says he's going to take some action, so we will see what kind of action he will take. But I'm encouraging you to analyze his speech. He said some other things too, you know. So we want to get all of that information, sit back, listen to it very carefully, and then analyze it objectively. Do not add anything to what he said. Just as he says it, that's how you take it. Now, if he comes back and says he made a mistake, well, that's a different kettle of fish altogether. He could correct it. But I think too many of us make the mistake of trying to interpret what the particular personality may have meant. No. You take it just the way he gave it. Then you'll stay in safe territory, so no one could say, well, you're trying to put something on someone. When I analyze anything, this is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson speaking for himself. When I analyze anything, I look for the correct information. What was actually said, or what was actually written, or what was presented to the public. Not gossip, not rumor, not hearsay. Now, I understand that a high-ranking political personality is also involved in this situation relating to the tons of cocaine, where a high-ranking personality on the police force said he had these connections. Is it possible for tons of cocaine to pass through the Bahamas and the top officials in your country not aware of what is going on? Do you believe that, Bahamians? Should they not know? Do they not have the intelligence, information, if such a thing is happening? That's what the indictment is saying. Tons of cocaine, not no packages, 1 pound, 2 pounds. No, no, no. Tons. You know what a ton is, Bahamians? And I heard some reports from foreign personnel putting a description on the Bahamas, and let me tell you something, they hit us very, very hard. Very hard to damage the reputation of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Can we prove whether these things are so or not? Yes, we can, Bahamians. Do not believe everything that a foreign correspondent or news person will tell you about the Bahamas, because the picture they paint is a very damaging picture for the reputation of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, as if their hands are all clean. No Americans involved in this, only Bahamians. Is there anything like that? That's the impression you get, Bahamians. And Bahamian police officials and persons who are responsible for keeping the borders and so on, who are responsible for the protection of the country, supposed to be working along with their quote-unquote counterparts from the United States and the Turks and Caicos. They call it OPBAT. 2 nations and 1 territory. That ain't no nation. Turks and Caicos is not a nation. And the Prime Minister said he's going to meet with the charge d'affaires of the United States Embassy. I wonder about that, you know. Where does the Minister of National Security fit into this? The Prime Minister appointed a particular personality to be the Minister for National Security. Is he overreaching? Now, he can run his cabinet as he sees fit. I'm not knocking that. But if you appoint a personality as your national security minister, don't you think that particular personality should be at the top of this? Because remember now, a minister in a particular ministry has what? Overall direction, 1, overall control of that ministry. And that particular minister is to report to whom? The cabinet. The Prime Minister is the head of the cabinet. But I understand he is the one who's going to meet with the charge d'affaires. That's the determination that was made by him. And he's going to meet with the head of the defense force and the head of the police force. I know if he can meet with them prison fellas, I know. But he didn't say that, but just those 2. But the thing is, the problem is with people high rank in these areas. That's the problem. And you got tons of cocaine passing through the Bahamas, which was going on, they say, from May of 2021. And perhaps tons of cocaine have passed through even before May of 2021. I believe we have a caller on the line. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please. Caller, you there? I don't hear the caller, Mr. Producer. We'll just have to move on. The point is, Bahamians. We have a caller? Okay, caller, go ahead, please. You're live on air.
Brother Sid.
Hey, what you say?
This is a hot top button this evening.
The man tell me tons of cocaine passing through the Bahamas, and it was never intercepted, came from the South America, maybe Colombia, coming through Grand Bahama, passing through our islands and going on to the United States. So who is keeping the borders for the Bahamian people?
Well, you see, what I was looking at a long time before I get to my really point.
Okay.
When you have, look at Exuma. Exuma have 300, almost over 300 keys.
Yes.
Now, when those foreign boats and stuff goes on those keys, who own those keys? Who check those things? Who check what they bringing in?
I'm glad you asked that, because that is a matter I have to further investigate. Because I understand from sources that the manpower is not strong in the Family Islands for persons who are to be checked who enter the country. I believe that should have been beefed up decades ago. We know we have a number of islands. We know we got plenty of water out there. Why is it then that the government of the Bahamas hasn't put in proper surveillance over these islands, over our airspace, over these keys? And I want to know how these foreigners get to own these keys, you know. No one has told us that. Who did they pay the money to? Someone say he got a key in Exuma called Thompson Key.
Yeah.
And I heard the name of a particular family that was called. And this particular family has ownership of keys in the Exumas. So how is it then that a stranger, a foreigner, an alien, an outsider could own a key?
Now, I don't know how the process is.
Yeah, but then see, that's what we need to understand. The Bahamians need to understand what is going on, and those who have proof that they own these keys ought to speak up.
You got the man what is act like Medea. He get his keys up there. Now,
Okay.
we don't know when they come in the nighttime and stuff like that. I don't want to hear but shortage of manpower. You know what you need. You put the man there. How could you put one custom officer on these keys or wherever on these islands? He controls what come out and what is what. You need at least a custom officer, an immigration, and a police there. That the three of them, one man is going to control, determine what is what. We are too slack in this country. You understand me?
Okay.
You got the case with Auckland's with superintendent now, the Miller man. That being now must be going the 2 years. That should be a speedy trial to know that who this man was.
Yes.
Okay? Now, to my point. You know, until everything is being proven and whatever, but I cannot see or understand how a high-ranking officer supposed to be over the station,
over the airport. Yeah, the airport.
I don't understand that. How, in heaven's name, he could hear all of this crime that is going on, all of this shooting and killing, and this man is supposed to be watching over this country. This man making a decent salary, sitting in a good, comfortable air condition, go to work when he maybe not on regular time like everybody else, overseen, and he could be mixed up in these kind of foolishness and see the country was going down the hell in the basket, and he not cry out and say, no, man, look here. These men, whoever along with them, brother, I hear what the Prime Minister say, and I'm going to give him a chance. I'm going to give him a chance to do whatever he say he's going to do.
Okay.
Sometime, it's like God give us 2 and 3 chances. I'm going to give him a chance to see what... Go ahead.
Let me just ask this question. The indictments say tons of cocaine from May of 2021 through the Bahamas.
So this was going on now.
That is what we understand was
government.
going on. No, but let's listen carefully now. How can that happen in this country under leaders of the country not be fully aware of anything? Don't they have the intelligence, the information as to what is going on in this place? Or are they just completely blind, do not know what they're doing, do not understand the makeup of this country? What the heck is going on,
You know why?
Bahamians?
When you put people in these place, position, I don't care whether it be a woman or a man. When you put these man or woman in these position who don't have no knowledge of the job, what they're doing, this what you will get. Because why? Somebody had to know something. But because they were so under and they paying attention to this thing and the next thing, this what was going on from 2021 until you had a stranger, another country, had to watching these men and
Yes.
see what was going on.
Yeah, that's the sad part about it, because I'm saying, based on what we understand now, I cannot understand how in God's name that such a criminal empire could operate in the country, in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And the leaders of the nation have no knowledge or understanding as to what is going on. What does that tell you?
When the FBI or the secret intelligence supposed to be watching Donald Trump.
Yes.
And when that man could shoot Donald Trump inside and what happened in his head.
Yeah.
You know what the leader that man do? No, it was the man. It was woman.
The woman.
She stepped down.
Yes, she stepped down.
See, that is what we call in that integrity. This happened under my watch.
Yes.
But not these Negroes. They ain't gonna step down. You know why? They can throw the blame someplace else because why? The job is too sweet. And nobody is getting fired. Nobody's going to jail. And that is where it is on both sides. Look at the big commotion they had yesterday between Bain and Pentad.
Yeah.
Bain telling Pentad, yeah, don't forget the $5 million.
We're gonna deal with that.
You understand me? So in other words, I'd rather give me integrity over famous, over talent.
But caller, let's ask some basic fundamental questions. Are we getting integrity from the leadership of the Royal Bahamas Police Force? That's one. Are we getting honesty and integrity from the leadership of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force? And are we getting integrity, honesty, transparency from the cabinet of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas? Say, I asked 3 specific questions. Let's look at them objectively. And I want the people to call in and say about that. Because the indictment say tons of cocaine passing through. You mean to tell me that could happen in this country from May of 2021? It might have been happening before then. But let's deal with what we know on the table. May of 2021. And is it possible for that to happen without the top leaders in your country not even having an inkling of what is going on? I find that to be very suspicious.
He is going to shake the mango tree.
Now, who can shake the dilly tree?
And I said he may shake it with 2 hands.
No, but who can do the shaking? No, but caller, stop. I heard him say the comment about shaking the tree. Who is qualified to shake the tree? And who will be the one doing it? So we got to ask questions now. And I'm not saying that he can't shake the tree. But I think we need, but we have, this is the problem in us as Bahamians. We don't ask questions. While we ought to listen to him, yes. Question what he said he's going to do. You can be respectful with that.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything untoward about him, because we're not getting into that part of it. All I'm simply saying is, I listened to that speech very carefully. And I'm not saying he should not take appropriate action, because it's what has happened is so damaging to the country.
But Professor, something you just said just now was powerful. You just said just now, I don't know if you understand what you just said. You said that who is worthy to shake the tree?
That's what I said, yes.
That is powerful.
Yes, it is, because he say the bad apples have to drop off. Fine. I got no problem with that. Who is qualified to shake the tree? You can't set the rat to watch the cheese. You know you can't do that, eh? Are you listening to me, caller?
I hear you.
Yeah, okay. So you ain't gonna have the rat to shake the tree, because those rotten things ain't gonna drop off. You have to find the appropriate personnel to shake that tree, to make sure every last one drops off. You get what I'm saying? Because the man said, no, but hold on, caller. Listen to me carefully. See, you got to listen to what the man said. It's a few people who are doing this crap. But is that true? Is that really what is happening? Only a few people who are keeping this country hostage to this kind of wickedness.
Yes, sir.
That's what we have to ask.
Yes, sir.
Based on what, he told us. I mean, But there's supposed to be some more investigations coming out. But we got to go by what we know now.
Yes, sir.
And we can discuss that because it's out in the public domain.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, caller.
So, I like what you said, And now, I said when he shake the tree, there's some apples way up to the top. And they need a good shaking.
But
it don't make sense. You're only shaking the tree and the apple below just is dropping and leaving those rotten tips straight to the top. you feel me?
Caller, use trouble,
No. I mean, I'm talking real talk.
No, I'm not saying you're not,
There's a whole lot of people shaking the tree and only around the tree coming up, but there's some still up there stuck.
How they get stuck up there, man? Tell the public how it got stuck.
If you got to climb, put the ladder there and climb it, get them down, because sometimes they ain't coming down.
We need a fire truck, man. We need one fire truck to get up there.
Whatever it's going to take. Because our little country on this Thanksgiving Day is a good little country.
Yes, it is.
And we thank God for this.
Yes.
And no one in hell is going to give us this bad name when you walk into the airport and people looking at you. Where you from?
Call, I have to go to a break because I hear the music in the background. But thanks very much for your contribution. We're going to continue this discussion after the break. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. We're talking about this report. Tons of cocaine freely flowing through the country called the Commonwealth of Bahamas. How did it happen, Damien? How did we allow it to happen? I want you to call in and give your comments on it. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Fall is here, and so are the incredible advertising deals at Global 99.5 FM. Whether you're launching a new product, promoting holiday sales, or just want to get your brand out there, we've got you covered with unbeatable rates this season. Reach thousands of potential customers and boost your business before the holidays hit. Call 326-0271 or just email sales@globalradio995fm.com to learn more about our fall advertising promotions. Global 99.5 FM, reaching customers wherever they are for your success.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island, a November to remember sale, starting at $150 per night plus taxes and fees. For single or double occupancy, receive a fourth night free with 3 paid nights. Limited inventory available and blackout date supply. Advance booking is required. We're offering free food and beverage credit up to $50 based on your length of stay. Redeemable at our Crusoe's restaurant and Splash Pool bar. VAT and gratuity is not included. All guests of Comfort Suites enjoy complimentary use of Atlantis, including Aquaventure Water Park, daily complimentary full American buffet breakfast, free Wi-Fi, free parking, kids 11 and under stay free in the room with a parent and eat free at Crusoe's restaurant with each paying adult. Call us today at 605-6300 or 363-3680 or WhatsApp us at 55-SUITE. That's 557-8483 or for valid through November 18th, 2024. Comfort Suites Paradise Island, offering comforting days and sweet nights.
This Thanksgiving, let McKinsey's Restaurant at Porter's Key Dock do the cooking for you. Bring the family down and enjoy a mouth-watering Thanksgiving feast with all the trimmings, glazed ham, roasted turkey, seafood stuffing, and your choice of classic Bahamian sides, from peas and rice or conch and rice to coleslaw, macaroni, and more. Or check out our regular menu serving fish, conch, shrimp, or lobster. And don't forget dessert. Choose from pumpkin pie, pumpkin roll, red velvet, or chocolate cake, or one of our tropical or regular conch salads to complete your meal. Come celebrate Thanksgiving with us at McKinsey's Restaurant, Porter's Key Dock. Great food, warm hospitality, and memories to last a lifetime. Happy Thanksgiving from McKinsey's.
Janae's Christmas Wonderland is open under the Big Tent. Get 20 to 50% off selected Christmas decorations. Restrictions apply. Trees in pink, frosted green or white in a variety of sizes. LED and laser lights, a large variety of tree ornaments, lighted angels, Santa tree toppers, bright and lively colored Christmas balls, garlands, wreaths, red and white stringed cranberry, tree skirts, stockings, and lots more. Add flowers, picks, and decorative mesh to brighten up your home or office this holiday season. And don't forget the toys at Janae's Chesapeake Road. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Janae's Limited. WhatsApp 817-3295.
Great news. Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
If you've got termites and need to get rid of them fast, trust Rent-A-Kill Initial. We have over 60 years of experience in the Bahamas. As a part of a global brand, our training and expertise can't be beat. Only Rent-A-Kill Initial gives you a 3-year warranty on termite fumigation with the best payment terms in the Bahamas. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name you can call on, Rent-A-Kill Initial. Call us at 322-2157.
From South Beach to Bay Street.
I'm pleased, I really dig your company.
It's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Bahamians, this is a very serious issue, and the Prime Minister himself is going to get behind this particular issue that is affecting the national life of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. He made some very strong statements, And I want you to call in, I want you to comment on it, Bahamians. They can't just leave the Prime Minister out there by himself. We have to support the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas for the salvation of our country. You cannot allow a few individuals, that's what the man tells me now, a few individuals to destroy the very name and the very character of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas by doing foolishness. We have to stop that from happening. And that's why I ask, who is qualified to shake the tree? Because we need to get rid of all the rotten apples. Last caller, voice caller said that some of them get stuck. So I say, how do they get stuck up there? You mean they get stuck? at the top of the tree, in the middle of the tree, and only those that are on ground level, you ain't got to shake the tree for that. You could pull them off. But you got to shake the tree for them other fellas up there. Maybe they are stuck up there. Can't get down. So maybe we got to get one fire truck with them long ladders and put it against the tree and go up there and get those rotten apples out the way. Bahamians, our reputation as a nation is under fire. And it just happened just before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was yesterday. And Bahamians, it's a sad state of affairs. We cannot allow this foolishness to go on. We have to lock hands with the Prime Minister on this one. We have to support him, Bahamians, because when I heard the reports of reporters reporting on the Bahamas, they gave the Bahamian nation a scathing attack. And I was uncomfortable with those attacks. I'm not saying we should not get to the bottom of this very serious national issue. We should. The Prime Minister says he's going to get to the bottom of it. And he's going to make some changes, institute some legislation. And we have to do something with these people, Bahamians, who's spoiling our reputation. You know how long it's going to take to rebuild trust? I believe I have a call on the line. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, good afternoon, Professor.
Hey, what you say?
And good afternoon, you ain't gonna guess it. Good afternoon, there.
My guess
and good
hasn't
afternoon,
reached
Bahamas.
yet. Yeah, okay, all right.
Hey, but Professor, you know what we have to do? We have to, whenever, we ain't gonna sit down and we gotta sit right down and wait till they open our constitution again. And then guess what we gotta do in it? All enemies, foreign and domestic. We gotta see way we can sneak that inside the constitution. But we ain't gonna rush it. Many times they open that. I stand on Article 24. Anytime they open a constitution, they can do something. You know, we can say, okay. We can put all enemies, foreign and domestic. And Professor, you know, I say this all the time. We can't. Now, Professor, I did research. I did research on drug cartel. Why they kidnap people and take over the whole country? We cannot let our country go like that.
Say that. Slow down a bit. What you said? Who kidnapped what?
I say I did research on how the other countries do the drug cartels.
Oh, okay, the cartels, yes.
Yeah, wait, hey, even every Bahamian who say he's a Bahamian fight to the bone, so don't let your country come like that.
Okay.
They just kidnap people, kidnap your favorite children.
Yes.
And this woman pay all our money. And everybody come on the line and say, yeah, she's still alive. I know where she is. And this woman pay money and keep on paying.
Yes.
It's so great out of hand. But listen to me, I can tell you what I can do, what the Bahamas need to do. And the younger people need to learn this good. Our constitution say you're innocent till you're proven guilty. Okay, let's put that there. But listen here, fire them on the spot and hire another 20 young recruit. You can't be playing with joking with the country, this royalty. Fire them right on the spot. I understand we got that, and you ain't want to get sued. But as soon as you get loose with that guilty thing up, fire them and hire like a 400 new recruits and tell them, listen here, you all got the country to save. And don't play and don't shake. Pastor, you have a blessed day. Don't play with the country.
Thank you, Carla, for your contribution. Carla made some very strong points there. The Prime Minister said he cannot wait for any results from the court action that may be taken in the United States of America. I think they're going to have this case in New York. New York is a very famous city, you know. There's another case in New York that is involved with the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The point is, Bahamians, we are a sovereign, independent, democratic, theocratic state. We have some very serious problems. The government of the Bahamas is determined to deal with this particular issue, and I think we should support them 100%. When it comes to the reputation of the country, all of us are involved in that. Even though you had some people doing some funny things. Because we're going to be looked at in a very bad light in the eyes of the world, Bahamians. I'm not comfortable with that. And then when that happens, that means you're going to have some other things happening. See, the caller talked about kidnappings. Let us not get to that point, Bahamians, where you see large-scale acts of violence, people losing their lives. And say, we ain't got that many people, you know. We only got a couple of people. We ain't got no millions to pick from. We got 307,000. That's what they tell me. Now, remember, I'm not even in the census, and my family members are not in the census. I don't know how the Census Committee or Bureau left out some genuine Bahamians. Any names in the census? I don't know how they get like that. That census they got is incomplete. Because I understand some other Bahamians are not even in the census. So now that's a different issue. I can deal with that at a later time. But we got a census that is not accurate and precise. We have a call on the line. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
Professor Sidney Thompson.
Yes,
First, I
ma'am.
must give thanks to the Almighty God through Jesus Christ of Nazareth and the Holy Spirit enveloping us. It's divine to be Bahamian, and Thanksgiving, happy
Yes, ma'am.
Thanksgiving goes out to one and all under the sound of my voice, especially all of my divine recipients, King Charles III and Queen of Consort Camilla, and the entire monarchy family that's not affiliated with the colonialistics, who are those who are responsible for much tyranny during those years. You said that the Prime Minister who will shake the tree.
No, but I asked the question. He said the tree has to be shaken and the rotten things have to drop off. So I asked the question, who is qualified to shake the tree?
He's more than qualified.
No. Listen, Berenice.
Yes.
Professor asked a question. Listen to the question. Who is qualified to shake the tree? That is the question that I asked. I didn't say nothing about the Prime Minister himself. He talked about the tree being shaken and the rotten apples falling off. I don't have a problem with that. I'm saying, listen carefully, man.
Let me.
No. Listen, man. You got to learn to listen.
I am a cell phone.
The question was asked, who is qualified to shake the tree? Do you know that? Go ahead, Berenice.
Okay, see, when I call in, I contributed authoritatively, okay? Transnational organized crime, where they call me all the conspiracy theories and everything else.
Yes, ma'am.
We have already investigated this. We were proactive from 1980. I keep telling you all, when the consulate in Miami was attacked, all of this has to come up, okay? Now, what is happening now is that there has been situations where guns were bought or purchased for the Royal Bahamas Police Force, and the former Commissioner Greenslade, he was not in agreement with it. That was not the way to do it.
Berenice, I have to interrupt you, because can you just deal with the issue that the Prime Minister spoke about? Can you deal with that?
This is my job. This is my work.
Okay.
And that's why I said I am qualified to investigate. You have to go about investigating in certain ways and finding history. Prime Minister Davis will have to use me, because they told me to call in at the U.S. Embassy at this Women's Week now. Okay? We will have former Prime Minister, my mortal boss, Hubert Alexander Ingram, Mr. Christie, and see, their wives are involved also in assisting, okay? Because what has happened in this Bahamas is that you have to deal with external factors. We investigate that in the PIU. That's separate and apart. And Mr. Commissioner Clayton Fernandez is more than qualified. And I told the Assistant Commissioner on Spence Phillipson's show, they are too young. If you are 30 years and under, This nation has to be properly handed over with a proper history. Okay? And that is one of the reasons why I said our monies for even for the public hospitals, where families who children were experimented on unknowing to our ministers and our prime minister. And that is one of the reasons why I can say authoritatively that the late Sir Lyndon Tinling name shall be cleared along with many other nation leaders, third world nations. Okay? Now, in the Christmas, we will go work through the Christmas because the monies must be accessed, especially for our police officers, our essential services, the defense force officers. Now, those who are wrong, found wanting, they will be dealt with. And our Royal Bahamas Police Force, the best law enforcement agency on planet Earth, because they take action, and that is one of the reasons why I said Minister Wayne Monroe is the best minister now for this, because he's member of the Court of Inns, and all of the knowledge of the judiciary. And we have history that we will share with the United States of America.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
those who are incriminated wrongfully, then it will be dealt with from a lawsuit point of view.
Okay.
But
All right.
the two former national security ministers, I warned them both. I told them that there's files on them. I told some of the women there are files on them, and also there's an outstanding brutal rape that happened to a United States of America official that I was dealing with, and all of a sudden, the COVID came, and
Yes, ma'am.
everything went flat. So
All
that
right.
has to be dealt with also. And I was dealing with that. Bahamas Against Rape and Human Trafficking. And I told
Okay.
you that over and repeatedly, Mrs. Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson, with the Eurasia Bloc. This is a sting operation.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
once this is dealt with by our nation leaders, because Mr. Minnis, when
Okay.
I told him about the two questions to answer, I don't know if you heard the radio, his news, he said that he was not aware. So that is one of the reasons. There's also
You
murder
said
for hire.
you're talking about the recent statement that he made about corruption?
No, he just made a statement. He said that they know that he was not corrupt. So
No.
what the
He
leader
said
did-
that if he did know
He doesn't
nothing was
tolerate
brought, he
corruption.
doesn't tolerate corruption. You're talking about that
Right.
one we just made,
Right,
yeah.
and he said he will be giving them some hard questions. Now, when
Okay.
they said snitches get stitches in the House of Assembly, those international correspondents were there. This the entire FNM. That's why I said the PLP will hand this nation over properly so our people can have
Okay.
access to the dignity
All
of
right.
humanity. And good afternoon
Okay,
to Her
thanks.
Excellency for
Thank
Life
you.
Marguerite Finley.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to entertain Berenice, but I think Berenice goes off into so many different areas and we're not getting clarity. The matter that is on the table now, according to the Prime Minister, is this indictment, which talks about tons of cocaine flowing through the Commonwealth of the Bahamas undetected, apparently. Somebody must know something. The Prime Minister can get on this case. Do we understand how serious this is? The Prime Minister said this is serious business. We have a Minister of National Security. And I'm asking where does he fit into this now? The Prime Minister is taking over, well, at least leading the thing with the charge d'affaires, and he's going to speak to the Commissioner of Police, he's going to speak to the head of the Defense Force and U.S. personnel. Where's the Minister of National Security? And it is implicated that a particular high-ranking personality, government personality, implicated in this particular situation. Tons of cocaine. Did you get that, Bahamians? You know how much destruction could be done with tons of cocaine? What kind of corruption you have in this place? Where it is just flowing through, never intercepted. That's the gravity of the situation. What do you expect the Prime Minister to do? He said he's sitting down waiting for no court to make no ruling. He's going to get on the case, and I don't blame him. The reputation of the government of Bahamas is at stake. The reputation of our law enforcement personnel is at stake. The reputation of the nation is at stake. We can't sit back and wait for no ruling from no court. They have their work to do over there. We have our work to do here. With these dangerous implications, Bahamians, what are you and I going to do about it? We got to support the Prime Minister. No matter what we may think about him, he's the leader of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. You may have some differences with him. You might disagree with some things that he say. I disagree with some things that he say. But on this one here, no. We have to lock hands and support the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Because from what I understand, if I understand him correctly, apparently something went down that perhaps our leaders were not fully aware of, or did not fully understand, or the reports somehow were not getting to them. And so he has to move and take drastic action. But he said it's only a few. So how big is that few? Causing all this trouble, all this calamity for the Bahamian people. He said we need people we could trust. Can you trust the government of the Bahamas? Can you trust the Royal Bahamas Police Force? Can you have confidence in the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, Bahamians? These are institutions that have been established to perform certain functions. Can you trust the House of Assembly? Can you trust the Senate? It's a matter of trust, Bahamians. Our reputation is on the line. We are in serious trouble. So the Prime Minister came out and spoke very strongly about that. And so I can understand him doing what he agrees to do. So we have to help him. Because obviously some things what may appear to be, let me make sure I get this right now, what may appear to be may not necessarily be so. But I want to know the role of the Minister of National Security, because you see, he appointed a minister for the national security of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Where does he fit into the picture? That's what I'd like to know. Because the minister says he's dealing with policy. When I read the Constitution tells me the minister in that ministry has what? Overall direction, one, overall control, two, of that ministry. It starts with the minister, stops with the minister. That's Constitution, Bahamians. Ain't say nothing about no commissioner of police, you know. Ain't say no commander, no defense force. The minister has overall direction, overall control of that ministry. How does he fit into the picture? Because this is very serious business. And all of us are going to be looked at with a squinted eye when we go abroad. They say you from the Bahamas. And then the conversation starts. And I've heard the reports, my friends. I've heard the reports, that negative reporting, harsh negative reporting. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't speak the truth. I'm not saying that at all. We should speak the truth. But there are some who will take a delight in destroying the country. Payments, we can't afford that. We only got one Bahamas, you know. We got one Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And we cannot afford for the people of this country to lose hope in the institutions we worked so hard to set up over the last 51 plus years. Tough. The lines are open, 3260271, 3260272, 8130271. Famous, I need you to talk about this, you know. This is serious business. Do not sit quietly on this. We got to help the Prime Minister. We have to let him know we are with him on this matter. You can't just sit quietly and say, let him do the thing. No. Article 24.1 kicks in right away. It takes the collective will of a people to save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Now, the Prime Minister leader, so we're not interfering with that. The elected leader, who has a lot of authority. We have a caller on the line. Call you live on here. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Professor.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Bahamas.
Yes.
Professor, I didn't answer the question. I was too passionate. But Professor, I answer the question, your question.
Yeah.
But I must say, Professor, we had this done before, right? One boat run up to one foreign boat run up to almost by the fence for us.
Yes.
Boy, they put one statement out there. Man, that calm my nerve right down. Professor, listen here. All you guys do, we ain't gotta get the politician involved with this. This is so serious because you might take the politician in. All you guys say, the man, what is commissioner for Canada, not Canada, where that is, for Britain, whatever that is, he visited the Bahamas. And Professor, the simple way that is, I say this now, that'll solve all this problem. The Commissioner Green Slade just visited the Bahamas just to check over things. And you will see how fast this problem will get fixed. That's all I can say on that.
Okay, caller. Well, thank you for your contribution. Well, people have different views, and I'm here to listen to the views of the Bahamian people. But you know, I can stick with the Constitution. I can tell you that right off the top. Because we have a serious problem. The reports say tons of cocaine, Bahamians. You know how destructive this thing is? And how it could corrupt the very lives of families of these particular personalities who are charged or going to go be put before the court. Mr. Producer, we have a call on the line. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Mark Walter Thompson.
Hey, how are you?
I am fine. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
First time caller.
Oh, okay, wonderful.
They don't have to shake the tree, you know.
Okay.
Bind the tree down. When you bind the tree down, everybody go with the tree. They don't have to shake it. Bind it down.
Okay.
Thank you. That's my 5 cents.
That's a 5 cents. See, this is what I want to hear from the public. You have a right to comment on what the report says. You have a right to comment on what the Prime Minister says. Now, he has an obligation to the nation. He is our leader. Whichever way he decides to deal with the matter, if there is something we can do to help him, we ought to help him. And I think there's something we can do to help the Prime Minister. See, you can't just leave him out there by himself. It's a nation, Bahamians, that is in trouble. These people have caused a lot of problems for us, you know. And one caller said, burn the tree down. Don't worry about shaking no tree. Burn it. What do you think about that, Bahamians? It's the first time caller saying that. So I'm prepared to listen to the views of the Bahamian people. The reports say tons of cocaine flowing freely through this country. Did you get that, Bahamians? That's the thing what stood out in my mind. Tons of it. Not little pounds, say 1, 2, or 3 pounds. No. Big time drug dealing. And some other funny things going along with it too. And we ain't talked about that yet. Bahamians, this is serious business. Environment talked about how we got all these open borders. But Bahamians, we have some serious issues to deal with. This country is in trouble. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson. The lines are open. Bahamians call. Get the lines moving, man. I want to hear from you today. 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
This Thanksgiving, treat yourself to a delicious feast at the Cricket Club. Enjoy our holiday lunch special featuring glazed ham, roasted turkey, seafood stuffing, and a variety of classic sides like peas and rice, crab and rice, coleslaw, mac and cheese, and more. Top it off with your choice of dessert, carrot, chocolate, or cheesecake, all for just $28. Or indulge in our seafood platter with steak and shrimp, mahi-mahi and shrimp, served with your favorite sides and dessert for only $31. Join us at the Cricket Club, located Haynes Oval, West Bay Street. Call 326-4720 to reserve your spot today.
Hey there, are you ready for the holidays? Well, Windermere Day Spa is turning it up to start the season with a fantastic Black Friday sale. They're giving a whopping 20% off all full-price gift card sales, and they are offering delivery. At Windermere Day Spa, you can experience true head-to-toe pampering. You deserve it. Nail and hair care services, soothing facials, exhilarating massages, body wraps and scrubs. Your body is saying, let's do it. This Black Friday, call Windermere Day Spa and purchase your full price gift cards at a whopping 20% off. And remember, they deliver 2 locations, Cave Village, 321-613-506, or Harbor Bay at 393-8788 or 393-0033.
As we celebrate the season of Thanksgiving, Variety Disposable Products would like to wish you and yours a very blessed Thanksgiving season. Throughout the month of November, Variety Disposable will donate to Hands for Hunger and invite you to do the same. Variety is stocked with all of your essentials, such as food and cake trays, stuffing, seasonings, foil pans, and oval pans for your ham and turkey. Visit Variety Disposable Products located on Faith Avenue and Soldier Road, or call us at 341-9010 or 325-7071.
At Audio Plus, we carry a large selection of DJ and audio products like speakers, mixers, microphones, car audio players, and much more. You can also find a wide selection of musical instruments like marching drums, Junkanoo drums in a wide variety of colors, trumpets, clarinets, trombones, Yamaha keyboards, and Fender guitars at special low prices. Visit Audio Plus on Soldier Road, located in the Cary's Plaza. Open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Phone number 394-6668. Audio Plus, your #1 music store.
Whether you're shopping for Mother's Day, Father's Day, back to school, or any occasion for that matter, you are sure to find exactly what you're looking for at the Brass and Leather Shops. Great products like handbags, wallets, backpacks, luggage, belts, shoes, and more are awaiting you. Brand names at the best quality and reasonable prices. Land, Rioni, Kipling, Guess, Travel Light, Herschel, and more. Shop any of our locations. Downtown Charlotte Street, Mall at Marathon, and also the Luggage Store at Palmdale. Be sure to shop Brass and Leather Shops. You'll be glad you did.
Bohemian shoppers know when times are hard and things are tough, it's more sensible and convenient to shop at YK's Fashion Center. YK's has slashed prices on brand name clothing and shoes by up to 50%, including academics, Clark, Polo, and hundreds of jeans and dicky pants, and as much as 70% on selected items. Choose from a large selection of beds, sheets, rugs, and towels, all at affordable prices. YK's has 3 locations to serve you: Bahama Avenue, Prince Charles, and East Street South near the Sir Charles Hotel. YK's, where you can afford to look good.
From Cable Beach to Montague, it's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Here, let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself here. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
We're back. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. I want to be as fair as I possibly can because, Bahamians, this is a very serious matter. And I believe I may have a correction to make, but we're going to see just how that goes. But the point is, Bahamians, this is a very serious problem. It's a national problem. It affects the reputation of the entire country. It affects the reputation of our leaders. One particular personality who is a high-ranking member in the government, as is reported, is implicated in this particular matter, according to that particular high-ranking police officer. But the particular personality was not named. But there are some things floating out there in the media And the Minister of National Security was asked about it, and he said that he was not involved in that kind of activity. Fine, accept that. We will have to leave it at that point. That's what he said. But the matter has to be investigated so we can get to the bottom of it. And that's what the Prime Minister said he's about to do. He's going to deal with the head of the police, head of the Defense Force, deal with the Charge d'Affaires of the United States Embassy, and also their partners in the United States. And we will see what comes out of that. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Professor, what's happening?
Yeah, I'm doing okay, you know.
Here's why, you said the Prime Minister needed help. And I think the Prime Minister ought to bear responsibility for this.
Okay.
When the Prime Minister took office, he brought a bunch of retired police officers back off the force.
Yes, he
They're
did.
back on the force.
Yes, he did.
These officers were given top ranking positions in the force.
Yes, that is correct.
These officers were hired under a cloud of secrecy.
Well,
do we know why they were brought back, or do we know what's the circumstances of their employment? Not saying that they were brought back to do anything untoward or illegal.
No, Carl, I understand.
Illegal.
I understand clearly what you're saying, and you're right on point at this point. So you haven't implicated anything on anybody, so I could accept the conversation. The point is,
go ahead.
The point is, the Prime Minister said, "See, I am questioning the role of the National Security Minister. See, when I read the Constitution, I am looking at what the Constitution says, you know. The Constitution says the minister has what? Overall direction. One, overall control of the ministry. You have a Minister of National Security. This is a national security issue. Where does he fit into the picture? I heard what the Prime Minister said, and I'm not knocking him for taking the kind of action that he wants to take. We have another call on the line?
Well, Professor, if I can.
Okay. Go ahead, caller. I'm going to let you finish. Go ahead.
But number one, also too, I don't think people really understand the danger and what happened. If these guys were given coordinates where Defense Force and police officers' vessels are to bring drugs in, how many illegal immigrants they let slip through the crack?
Now that's another issue that you bring up.
We always wonder how these sloops were able to sail right on the Paradise Island Bridge and come into Nassau, slip through the whole chain of the Bahamas and get it and offload the full of illegal immigrants.
The indictment says tons of cocaine.
I understand the cocaine part,
yes.
But again, how do we know they weren't selling the same information to cargo smugglers?
Well, I put a question.
That's another can of worms.
That's another issue you brought up. That's what I said. You see what I'm saying?
So this has some serious implications, and we have to get to the bottom of this, and these people have to be brought so we could know what danger or what mess they have this country in, so that we could try and fix it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Caller, you're
all
right.
I think I can continue to listen.
Yeah, okay. All right. The caller's made some good points. Oh, we have another call on the line. Boy. Caller, you're live on there. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, caller.
Yeah. Professor Thompson, this is my first time calling. I've been listening to your show regularly.
I appreciate
You know, what's happening now in this country ain't nothing new. And in light of all of this so destructive comments and view throughout the whole world of the Bahamas, which is a love and a peaceful nation,
yes,
with these corrupt leaders we have, I feel as if all of them should go. The Prime Minister should go. The Commissioner of Police should go. The Minister, whoever they is, all of them supposed to go. These people in the country is too quiet. They sit down too much and allow all these things to happen to us.
Okay.
It's a damn disgrace.
Okay.
You know, and you are right. You're trying every day to see how you could enlighten and educate the people. But they don't want to do nothing. They look like whatever goes on, they accept it. No one is accountable in this country to nobody. And this is why this thing's happening. If you have a house and there's no one to answer to nobody, what do you expect?
Yeah, confusion.
When the Prime Minister takes somebody from Africa and put him to run in the grove, what do you expect? The fella got to do what he say. This stuff is wrong. And it's about time these people in this country get up, rise up, and do something about it. Thank you, sir.
No, hold on, caller. Let me ask you the question. I'm asking, can you hear me, caller? The caller gone?
No, I hear. I
Okay.
think I hear.
I'm asking a specific question. We have a Minister of National Security. According to the Constitution, the Minister of National Security has what? Overall direction and overall control of that ministry. Where does he fit into the picture? Because the Prime Minister said he's going to take the lead in this thing. Where does he fit in? This is a national security issue.
With all due respect, he don't fit in at all.
Oh, he doesn't.
He neglect his responsibility.
Okay.
He needs to go.
All right.
Okay. You can't have a house and don't run it. Like one of the other radio shows I was listening to.
Yes.
I think the fellow who run the show says that while the Prime Minister is traveling all over the world, his house that was ain't in order, and he's doing all kind of worldly stuff, and his house is all messed up. This is a good example. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. The caller made some very cryptic comments, and that's what I want to get from the public. You know, your thoughts. Because see, I'm going by what the Constitution says. The Prime Minister is responsible for the appointment of these ministers through the Governor General. I understand all of that. But when a person is given an office, I heard the Minister of National Security say he's for policy. The Constitution says more than that. While he may be involved with policy, I'm not against that at all. What does it mean to have overall direction, one, and overall control, two, of the ministry? That is with every single minister. I ain't talking about those state ministers now. I ain't talking about that kind of thing. I'm talking about the fellow who's a minister of National Security, Minister of Social Services, Minister of Education, Minister of Tourism. As the Constitution says. So I just asked the question, and you could comment on the question, where does he fit in? Because the Prime Minister is going to take the lead in this one. I'm not saying he shouldn't now. Don't misunderstand me, because he is in charge of his cabinet. And he may see the need for him to take certain measures, and he can do that. Certain things he may have to take in hand by himself or in cooperation with others to get to the bottom of this problem. That's what he is determined to do, to get to the bottom of the situation. Now, some people may criticize his trips and all that sort of thing. You have a right to comment on that if you want to. But I don't want to be distracted. Let us zero in on what the Prime Minister said in the House of Assembly. My producer is going to play the tape very shortly. Because the thing is, Bahamians, it is a very serious, sobering matter. You can't take it lightly. It affects all of us. It affects my future, your children's future, everything that we have got. This is a peaceful country. Are we going to allow it to go to the dogs? Just because some people decide they want to do some things that are illegal, and all we do is sit back and just let it happen? No, Bahamians, we can't do that. We've come too far, 51 years, as an independent nation. Yes, we made some mistakes. And everything is not perfect. But at least we could find a way to improve what we have. That's why you hear me always for the Article 24.1 of the Constitution, where the people, the citizenry, have to become involved. You got to help the Prime Minister on this one, Bahamians. Can't leave him out to dry. That doesn't make any sense. We got to stand behind him, no matter what you think of him. Some things you mightn't agree with what he may have done, but that's a different matter. The salvation of your country is at stake, Bahamians. You got to see the seriousness of the problem that we have. And I don't think it's time to be blaming this one, blaming that one. Let's look at the issue. It is a very vexing, serious issue. And let's look at it objectively. without having to be pointing fingers all over the place. Let's look at the problem. We got a serious problem. Yes, certain personalities involved in it. And I believe we need some laws in place, and the Prime Minister talk about legislation, what they say they're working on. I wish I could see the drafting of it and make some recommendations myself. But sometimes these things are done. There's no real input from the people. I think the people ought to have input. Because that gentleman made some comments. And we need, sometimes, here's what happens with persons at the top of the ladder. They're so high up, they can't see what's happening on the ground. They don't feel the pressure that's on the ground against those persons who are on ground level, like me. I feel the pressure. I feel what's happening on the ground. That's why I tell the people. We could solve one major constituency problem in 18 months. Ain't no need to have it like that, Bahamians. You ain't got to keep complaining every living day. Come on, man. And you're not prepared to do nothing about it? You're prepared to keep grumbling and complaining? We've been doing that for 51 years now. We got to stop. We have to come together and say, what is it we can do collectively? Article 24.1 of your Constitution, the very last phrase in that article. Been overlooking that for more than 51 years. They can cut the crop, Bahamians. Oh, we gotta, the clip, yeah. My producer telling me about the clip. I even forgot about that. He's going to play a clip on the Prime Minister, and please listen carefully to what he says.
Fully in their investigation. The defendants will have their day in court, where the guilt or innocence of each will be established. But we cannot wait, and we will not wait for the outcomes of court proceedings in the United States. We are going to use every resource and consider every option so that Bahamians can trust those who take an oath to protect them. This is essential. Everything is on the table. We will have to change. We will have reform, and we will have action. Madam Speaker, while our proximity to the United States and our vast and open waters have long made our country vulnerable to traffickers, we are far from the only country or jurisdiction to face problems like the ones we discussed today. I will not downplay the seriousness of this moment, but I'm determined for our country not to be defined by any wrongdoings of a few, but instead by the urgency, the gravity, and the efficacy of our shared national response. The best of us are far more numerous and stronger than the worst of us.
That's very interesting, what the Prime Minister said. Those are very sobering remarks, Bahamians. The best of us are far more numerous than the worst of us. I could go along with that. That's why we got Article 24.1, Bahamians. It's been there for more than 51 years. What have we done with it? We need action. We need change. We need a different direction for the country. We cannot allow drug traffickers, nefarious people to have jurisdiction over our airwaves, our airspace, let me say that, the airspace, that's what I'm talking about. And our waters, we have vast waters around these islands. We have to find a way to have proper surveillance of those waters, of those skies. That's why God gave it to us. We have not yet learned how to properly supervise the airspace and the water space that we have. There's plenty of water out there. And there are those who will try to take advantage of those waters, doing funny things, wrong things, wicked things, evil things in our country, and give us a bad name. And they think they can get away with that. That's why you have law enforcement. We may have to make some real changes in the way we've been running these family islands and our waterways. We have to have proper surveillance over the water and over the airspace. And with these islands, I got to get some information on this, what kind of supervision we have. These people who say own these islands, they come in any time of the day, any time of the night, bringing things in. Who checks them out, Bahamians? Who's there? These different islands and the keys that we have, where people say they own these islands or bought these, who do they buy them from? That's a different kettle of fish we got to look at. Bahamians, the security of the country is important. That's why I asked the question about the Minister of National Security. See, if he didn't have a National Security Minister, I wouldn't ask the question. But we have one. And I'm still saying, where does he fit in? What is his role? One caller said that he failed in his responsibility. The Prime Minister didn't say that, but that's the view of the call, and that's fine. That's why the show is open for you to express your views, how you feel about a whole lot of things. And maybe when the Prime Minister gets to see how the Bahamian people feel, he can make certain course corrections, which would be beneficial for the country. But we don't tell the man nothing, because I can tell him on this radio station. Then he wouldn't know. Like one former Prime Minister said that if there were any corruptible things going on, it was kept from him. Is it possible that that's happening now in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, where tons of cocaine are freely passing through the Bahamas without any interruption and implicating police officers, defense force officers, government officials? And one particular name was circulated by this high-ranking police officer. And I understand they've been arrested in Boca Raton, Florida. Of course, some people were arrested in Canada. So Bahamians, we have some serious issues, and it's going to take time for these matters to be dealt with, particularly in a foreign jurisdiction. But we have our work here to do in the Commonwealth. We have to protect our interests. We have to protect our nation. The security of the nation is important, Bahamians. You can't take that lightly, because all of our lives are implicated in this. I want to know that I have a police force I could trust. You mean to tell me we can't be sure? You're not talking that. We got to have a Bahamas Defense Force that we could trust, because they took an oath to do some specific things. The government of the Bahamas took oaths to do some specific things. The personalities who sit in the House of Assembly and in the Senate and other places took oaths to do some specific things on behalf of the Bahamian people. I took 2 oaths too, and a responsibility I have to assist the Bahamian people. That's just how it is, Bahamians. Now, some things that are very personal and confidential that you may hear, you can't discuss those things publicly. You just have to go home, sleep it off, and forget about it. And I'm not talking about hiding anything that is relevant to national issues. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about personal matters that people may tell you about, which affect them, and you give counsel and advice to them, but you don't necessarily make that public. I go through that all the time. And if you ask me about it or say anything to me about it, I don't know what you're talking about, because I don't forget it. The point is, there are some things that are happening that are hurting the country. You got to tell the man. But if all of you see things and you ain't saying nothing, you have information, you ain't doing nothing with it, and you just say, I can let it slide. Call you live on air. Go ahead.
Yeah. Professor?
Yes?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you?
Oh, yeah.
How are you?
Professor, I would like for you to explain that word or the term you used, that we have to stand behind the Prime Minister.
Yes, I'll explain
Please.
it. Okay. Yes, the Bahamians ought to stand behind the Prime Minister. I did say that, and the call is correct. Let me say why he should. In spite of what you may think about him, in spite of your disagreements with him, this is a national security issue. That's why I was asking the role of the national security minister, because he appointed a minister. Now, I'm not saying that he shouldn't do what he agreed to do. That is the prime minister himself, because he's taking the lead in this one, and I have no problem with that. I am saying that the Bahamian people ought to support him, to back him, to help him, to inspire him, to motivate him, to encourage him, because it's a national issue. We have to look beyond personal things that how do you do that? I can tell you. We're going right to Article 24.1. It's right there in your Constitution. The Bahamian people have to be united. They have to rally behind the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. You know, I keep telling the people they need to know this document. This is time for you to know it now so you can support the Prime Minister.
Professor,
Yes,
I
sir.
listen to you every day,
Yes.
and I'm very intrigued on how you have a case going on right now because of personalities disobeying the Constitution.
Yes,
And
that
we,
is true.
We
Yes.
demonstrated right in the front of the place yesterday, well, some of the Bahamian people,
Yes.
to address matters that are constitutionally worthwhile addressing.
Okay.
And for 3 and something years, this man has been ignoring us. How do we get his attention now?
That's a good question, caller. Now, let me speak to the demonstrations that people may have had, and they have a right to demonstrate. The Constitution allows for that. It's how you do things. See, what I believe is that some people may demonstrate to get some specific attention. That has its place in time. But when you have a national issue like what we have now, you mean to tell me Bahamians cannot close ranks?
We cannot do what?
Cannot close ranks?
Can I close
and
what?
support a national cause?
Oh, okay, yeah.
That is beneficial to all of us? Do we want to see the country fall apart? Because you may have a disagreement with a particular personality. The matter that I'm involved with, as I always speak to, is a national issue. There's nothing personal about that one.
Professor,
yeah, go ahead.
Not only that the Prime Minister is a professional criminal attorney.
Yes.
The Frederick Davis is a leader of a political party, and he started up from scratch, from the bottom straight up.
Yes.
And he's been through many. Matter of fact, I think I don't know any other prime minister who's been through more scandals than this man.
Yeah.
Whether he was prime minister these couple of years, or whether when he was an MP or a deputy prime minister, as they put it, or Bamsey and all that kind of stuff. And every time Pokey and Bobo and Nygod, every time you turn around, this man is in the midst of things.
Yes.
And all of a sudden now we discover that all these drugs, this lucrative drug shipment of business is going to the States.
Yes.
All of a sudden the prime minister, how that happened?
Yes.
And I'm a guy in the back of the bush over here by South Beach. I'm supposed to know what's going on. Well, I'm supposed to know as a concerned citizen.
Yes.
But these men are ahead of the helm since 1987, I've been told.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, he's going to stand up here like me and you. Well, I just saw this on YouTube. I saw this on social media last night. What the heck is going on in the Bahamas?
Yes.
Is that what we're supposed to expect? Are we supposed to get behind and defend this guy?
No,
when we were telling the man, the driver, sir, slow down. Sir, please slow down. You're going too fast. He lands into a tree. Okay. And now I'm supposed to be his biggest supporter?
So
no, that's why the reason why I ask you. How
but it's
do
a
we
good,
support him? Call these talk shows and say, Mr. Prime Minister, good work, keep it up, we behind you all the way. And you said something else earlier that sort of disturbed me. You said that this situation is a smear on not just the Bahamas or the government, but we are all responsible for it. Didn't you say that?
No, I didn't say it like that. No,
You didn't
what
say it
I
like
did
that.
say is that it has an effect on the lives of all of the Bahamian
Well, I wish
people.
I was a part of that, the financial effect that these guys are enjoying, because trust me,
Now
that's a lot of money just flew through this country. If you all know anything, but I know, if you all know anything with drug dealers, I'm from Freeport.
Okay.
Every time you turn, you throw a rock, you could hit a drug dealer. They're your best friend. They're your worst enemy. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's money, untold sums of money. That was lucrative since whenever. We don't want to blame one government because, that didn't happen under Christie. That didn't happen under Ingram or Mr. Menace. All due respect to their names. I don't mean to sound so, I'm just going through the names real quick. So all of a sudden, here we are at Mr. Davis, the criminal defense lawyer.
Yes.
He knows nothing about crime. We have to pray now. That's just, well, I don't want to be facetious about it, but I call in for you to actually tell me as a concerned citizen, what should I do? What and I don't mean this to put down your suggestion because, it sounds beautiful. We got to support our prime minister, but as far as somebody sending out notes or some information to the world that we are so corrupt in the Bahamas.
Yes.
And so when this man comes to court, you got to bear that in mind. Besides that happening locally, we just praying for a prime minister to recognize the Bahamian people and their needs. So far for 3 years, he hasn't done that. He hasn't done that at all.
Okay, fair
Now
enough.
he's in trouble, and now we got to go defend him. Now, when I say he's in trouble, I mean that if he's taking on the case by himself, like you say, he's going personally to handle it, that means he's got trouble on his hands, right?
No, he has difficulty, very serious
Yes,
difficulty.
sir. Yes, sir.
He does.
But I don't know. I got to listen to the show a little more, and maybe you mention it, and I might find that because sometimes I'm a little late, but when I catch up, I come in and apologize. I see what you're talking about, but I still got to sit here and learn how I should support. 3 years of please, sir, don't do that. Sir, what did you do that for? Sir, we didn't ask you to do that. What is that? But 3 years and hasn't done one thing for us.
Okay.
Like you always say, I'm going to get, like you always say, what has he done?
Yes.
And what are the clear benefits?
Of course, caller, you have a right to ask those questions.
Well, I see none. And I prefer an early election and let the other prime minister deal with this.
Okay.
That's my point.
No. I have no objection to your views. That's what I wish more people would speak like that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to get them to open up, man, because we can have a better country.
People are afraid, man.
Why are they
told you
afraid?
before. You always say, what are you afraid?
What are you afraid of?
Okay.
Call us.
As I see them, I'll call you and let you know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We got to go to break. I'm over time for a break now. This is Professor Sidney McCarter, Walter Thompson. We'll continue the discussion after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island, a November to remember sale, starting at $150 per night plus taxes and fees. For single or double occupancy, receive a 4th night free with 3 paid nights. Limited inventory available and blackout date supply. Advance booking is required. We're offering free food and beverage credit up to $50 based on your length of stay. Redeemable at our Crusoe's restaurant and Splash Pool bar. VAT and gratuity is not included. All guests of Comfort Suites enjoy complimentary use of Atlantis, including Aquaventure Water Park, daily complimentary full American buffet breakfast, free Wi-Fi, free parking, kids 11 and under stay free in the room with a parent and eat free at Crusoe's restaurant with each paying adult. Call us today at 605-6300 or 363-3680 or WhatsApp us at 55-SUITE, that's 557-8483, or for valid through November 18th, 2024. Comfort Suites Paradise Island, offering comforting days and sweet nights.
At Audio Plus, we carry a large selection of DJ and audio products like speakers, mixers, microphones, car audio players, and much more. You can also find a wide selection of musical instruments like marching drums, Junkanoo drums in a wide variety of colors, trumpets, clarinets, trombones, Yamaha keyboards, and Fender guitars at special low prices. Visit Audio Plus on Soldier Road, located in the Caries Plaza. Open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Phone number 394-6668. Audio Plus, your #1 music store.
Great news. Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
If your Black Friday looks like any other day, you're shopping in the wrong place. It's that time of the year, our annual 3 days of total blackout at Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center. Mark your calendars for November 28th, 29th, and 30th. Join us for the biggest, craziest Black Friday weekend sale you've ever seen. Get ready to snag thousands of items straight from Amazon, Home Depot, and Walmart, all sold at their original online prices. Don't believe us? Bring your cell phone and Google it. If Amazon's list price is $20, you pay $20. That's right, freight and duty included. Where? We'll be waiting for you on Mackey Street under the big red and white tent. Come for the deals, stay for the experience. Save like never before. Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center's 3 days of total blackout. Call us now at 698-0123 or WhatsApp 557-2522. See you there on November 28th, 29th, and 30th. Don't miss it.
Steve Harvey here from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Everybody knows that I love to chill out with great music. There's only one place you can get this. Tonight at 7 p.m.
As soon as you clock off from work, make sure you lock right into me. I'm Lenny Green from The Quiet Storm, inviting you to come on over. I've got all of that R&B ear candy that you love. Plus, we'll engage in conversations inside a confession of love and so much more. And you never know who's going to drop by. It's The Quiet Storm, all getting underway tonight, 7 o'clock, right here on Global 99.5. I'm Lenny Green from The Quiet Storm. Keep it moving.
Hey, mama, how good the food is. Happy Thanksgiving from 99.5 FM. East Street to Blue Hill Road. It's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. The last caller asked a very interesting question about supporting the Prime Minister. I did say the nation ought to support the Prime Minister. I can explain that to you, but I have two callers on the line. They want to get their points in. I got to let them get those points in. Because, see, I am speaking constitutionally, Baines. No matter what you may think about the current Prime Minister, whether he did this or he didn't do that, that's a whole horse of a different color. We got a national crisis, Bahamians, that we have to deal with as a nation. Anyhow, let me get to these callers. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Mr. Thompson. How are you? First time caller here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for calling.
I want to say I totally agree with you. We have to support the Prime Minister because he runs this country.
Yes, he does.
And it has to be said that the only way we would see any changes in this country is if we remove the colorism. When I say the colorism, the colors of the parties.
Yes, ma'am.
The problem is if we see our Prime Minister as a man, as a Bahamian, as a leader, then we would know how important it is to stand behind him.
Yes.
At this point, whatever party he leads is not the issue.
That's not the
issue. He is
issue.
running our country.
Yes, ma'am.
And we have to stand behind him as a nation. Things in our country will only change if we take off and strip away the colorism. And I know that's next to impossible because just as you said, we have to support him because I listened to the last caller a few minutes ago, and he seemed so irate to hear that you even mentioned to support the prime minister. But he has to understand he's not supporting the party. He's supporting our country.
Caller, you are so accurate and precise in your comment. You understand Article 24.
Yes.
I wish everybody could understand it that way.
Exactly.
You know how long I've been trying to push that information to the Bahamian people for years.
Exactly.
And even as I speak to you today, they still haven't gotten it fully.
No,
but I can
they
keep fighting.
haven't.
And
that is so sad, sir. That is so sad.
And
nothing in this country is going to change unless we understand the colors is irrelevant.
Yes, ma'am, they are. You are
We
so
have
right
to
on point.
support our country, our people, our leader. Right now, we have to put aside party leaders. We have to support our prime minister.
Yes,
we
ma'am.
don't have to like him.
Yes. No, you're quite right.
Just have to support him.
I need you to call more often, so you could, because you're one who've been trying, who've understood this thing. I've been trying to teach the Bahamian people for years.
Amen.
I really appreciate this call, and don't let it be your first and last call. I need you to call more often.
Thank you. It won't. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
Okay, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. We have another call on the line. Call you live on here. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good afternoon, Professor.
Hey, good afternoon.
All is well, my brother.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Same to you, my brother,
Yeah, okay.
and the whole, and all to the whole, your listening audience.
Yes,
Happy
sir.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Now, Professor, concerning this issue, you said that we ought to back or have our prime minister's back on this matter. Okay. Yes, he is the prime minister of the Bahamas, but he is not the prime minister of the Bahamians in the Bahamas. I have a problem with that.
Okay.
Okay. And then the other thing is that he wants to talk for the Minister of National Security. Am I correct?
Yes, that is correct. No, but that is correct. You did say that. Yes.
Yeah, but why is the Minister of National Security there? Shouldn't he be able to speak for what he is assigned to do, what he is appointed to do?
That's exactly.
You know, I have a problem with that. You assign this man to be in charge of the national security of the entire Bahamas.
Yes, that
and
is
now
correct.
when a situation arises, he needs to sit down? No. He needs to come forward and do what he's being paid to do.
Yes.
You know, because to me, they don't need to be there.
If it's going to be like that, yes, I understand you very
If
clearly.
there's a situation with the utilities, that means that the prime minister is going to tell who's in charge of utilities to sit down. You have nothing to say. I'm going to take control of this as well. He don't need to have nobody. He's a dictator.
Okay.
And I have a very big problem with that. I can't support no one who's running our country as such.
Okay.
And this is how all the previous administrations have been running our government.
Okay.
And furthermore, Professor, you know, it's like this. When you tell a child you do right, right will come to you.
Yes.
If you do wrong, wrong will come to you.
Of course.
So if he was doing right all along, these things wouldn't happen, you know.
Okay.
Because he'll have total control over everyone who is under him. And these things just will not happen.
Yes.
Because they will know there's a price to pay when things like that happen.
Well, of course, I agree with you.
So now that it has happened, you know, I can't support him,
Yes.
even though he is the prime minister of our great Bahama line.
Yes.
The things that he has done, he has not supported the people who put him there that he should be supporting.
Okay.
You know, that Professor, I don't want to be repetitive of what I'm saying, but That is my take on this.
Yes.
And you need to let the national security minister speak, because he should have more knowledge as to what's going on than him.
Okay.
Not just because you're the prime minister means that you know everything. That's why you have you have other ministers to take care of other matters.
That is correct. Yes. That's
You
correct.
know, come on, man. You can't just say, well, okay, now this happened. Okay, no, I got this. And you don't know how nothing go. And you put me in charge. So if you put me in charge and now I got to report, I can't report no more.
Okay.
Whether you know or don't know. Because you are the prime minister. Really? No, man, we don't need to run our country like that.
Okay,
We don't need to
caller.
run our country like that.
Yes.
And getting back to what you always have been teaching us, that is not constitutional.
No, it's not. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. That's why I referred to the Constitution. What does the Constitution say? You have a particular personality who has what? Overall direction and overall control of the Ministry of National Security. That's an appointment that has been made. So that means the buck stops and starts with the minister. No ifs, no ands, no buts. I heard him say he's responsible for policy. It's more than just policy. Check your Constitution and see what the Constitution says.
Thank you.
Yes.
You know, Professor, we need to see this for what it truly is.
Okay.
Just because the prime minister say something doesn't mean it's constitutional. Doesn't
No,
mean that it's right.
That's why I agree with what you said. Not because he says it means it's constitutional. I agree with you 100%. That's why I go to the Constitution. I ask some people, you listen to the statement made by the Prime Minister, is it constitutionally sound? Yes or no? It only could be one or the other, you know. Because human beings can make mistakes, and we need to tell them when they are wrong. See, the problem in this country has been we don't want to open our mouths to tell our leaders, Mr. Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. MP, you're dead wrong. You see the Attorney General? I've said he's given bad advice to the government of the Bahamas. That's a fact. Very bad advice. But people don't want to say that. And I got evidence to prove it.
Professor?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, all I can tell you is just keep up the excellent work that you're doing by bringing knowledge of our Constitution to the Bahamian people.
Yes, sir.
And I just pray that we get away from what we have been going through for the past 51 plus years.
Yes.
And because obviously, the past two administrations that have been running this country,
Yes.
they don't have a clue because of what they've demonstrated.
Okay.
Okay, that's why I made this statement. They don't have a clue as to how to progress us as Bahamians.
Yes.
They do not have a clue, Professor.
Okay.
Not one iota of a clue. Everything that they do, it has to be done for a certain particular crew of people or a particular circle of people. But the regular common Bahamian, we get nothing but taxes. You guarantee that every time the administrations change, you guaranteed another set of taxes.
Yes.
That's the only thing that you're sure about. Other than that, you ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting nothing. But anyway, Professor, you just keep up the excellent work that you're doing, and I love and appreciate you, my brother.
Well, thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
caller.
God bless.
I appreciate the comments made by that caller. And Behemoth, this is what I want to get from you. I want to hear how you feel about these things. There's nothing wrong with questioning the Prime Minister. Nothing wrong with that. Is it constitutionally sound, yes or no? But we got to listen to what the man say. We have to analyze what he said. Now, I agree that we should support the Prime Minister. Someone said that he's Prime Minister of the Bahamas, but not Prime Minister for the Bahamian people. That's a difficulty some people have. That's their view. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Bahamas.
Yeah.
I want to make the country conscious that at the end of the day, if you're aware of having a housemaid is only hired to clean your house. You still own the house.
Yes.
And when we hire politicians in this Bahamas, we need to remember as Bahamians that these are the people we hire to clean our country with our consent.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and so when we get to that mindset, then we will have control and accountability of the things that take place in our house.
Yes.
It's sad to know that we allow that people to come in our house and at the end of the day, they own our house. And that's not fair to Bahamian people. And when we realize that these people are not the owners of our country, they are only there hired to clean our country by us, then we'll have control again as the people.
Okay. Okay, caller, well, thank you for your contribution. Those are very valid points, Bahamians. Those particular personalities who are elected or appointed have been given a specific assignment to carry out the national affairs of the Bahamian people. With the consent of the Bahamian people, Article 24.1. See, I keep going back to Article 24.1, Bahamians. And Article 2 says, any law that is inconsistent with this constitution shall prevail, and the other law, to the extent of its inconsistency, is null and void. It means nothing. And I can prove to you some laws that have been passed by the legislature which are not constitutionally sound. But are you prepared to tell them that, Bahamians? Are you going to allow that to keep going on and going on and going on and going on? You do nothing about it. We have a crisis, Bahamians. Yes, I did say we ought to support the Prime Minister. Now, some people may have some difficulties with it. Fine, I can understand that. You said some things have happened in the past. I know some things happened in the past too, which were not constitutionally sound, and it has hurt the Bahamian people. Our leaders didn't listen. They didn't follow the dictates of the Constitution. Now we have a crisis. Should you support your leader? There is a way to deal with persons who do not follow the Constitution. That's a fact. That's a different kettle of fish. We are now in a crisis with the current personality in the chair. The Bahamian people elected, well, through their representative, let's put it that way now. I got to get it constitutionally right. Personality in the House of Assembly, having the majority of the members of that house supporting that particular person, leader of the party, that's one. And then two, if the one is not a leader of a party, the person who has the majority of the members of that house is recommended to be the Prime Minister. So you don't go in the polls and vote for a particular Prime Minister. This is the way the Constitution says it's done. The point is, we have one there now. So what do? Are you going to pull the country apart because of certain things that didn't happen in the past? Are you going to allow the country to be torn apart like how it is in Sudan? See, we got to ask ourselves some serious questions. There is a way to deal with persons who are not constitutionally sound. I'm not talking about that today. As a whole horse of a different color. Because people want to know, what then do? We follow the Constitution. That's what we do. In spite of the weaknesses of any particular personality who happens to be in the chair. And in spite of the fact that our national leaders do not admit when they're wrong. Haven't seen it happen yet in 51 years. Now we got to fix that too. We have to look at the quality of the people you are sending to do your national affairs. Have we done that? Are we digging deep to find quality persons to run this country? Are we doing that? We have to ask ourselves some serious questions. We can't wait until we get into a crisis. We're in a crisis right now. So what do? Do we let the country break up? Or we do what we can to save it? The house is on fire. Are you going to allow the whole house to burn down? One person said burn the tree. And incidentally, that report about shaking the tree, I understand that was a report in the press. I was asking my producer about it. He does not have a tape where the Prime Minister said specifically in his own words about shaking the tree. So I just want to make a correction there. See, I'm able to correct myself if I'm in error. But I got the understanding that he did say that, but we don't have an actual recording where he specifically said shake the tree. We do know that he said he's going to get to the bottom of the matter. And it's going to require some changes, some action. Specifically, what kind of action, that remains to be seen. But the thing is that we have a leader in place, Bahamians. No matter what you may think about him, that's a different kettle of fish altogether. The country is in a crisis. Bahamians need to understand that when you're in a crisis, you got to pull together as one. You can't go to the world divided, tearing down your leaders and saying this and saying that. While we may do that internally, where differences of opinion, differences of ideas, and so on. That's fine. You could work with that. When it comes to salvation, you hear the people say, tons of cocaine. Did you get that, Bahamians? Probably all kind of funny things happening with drug smuggling and trafficking of human beings and trafficking in guns. All of that goes along with the picture. Some terrible things happening in this place. So we have to close ranks, Bahamians. When I said supporting the Prime Minister, I meant that. I'm not saying you must support any wrongdoing or what you may perceive to be wrong, but he's still the leader of the country. And someone said he's Prime Minister of the country, but he's not Prime Minister for the Bahamians. That's the point of view that particular, maybe some others out there have the same view. But for the sake of the country, Bahamians, we have to learn how to put aside our differences, pull together, and save the place. That's where your Constitution comes in. You come under the ban of your Constitution. I got to shut up now because the man tells me I got to close. This is Professor Sidney McGarter Walton Thompson. I'll be here tomorrow, open line Fridays tomorrow, and you can call in on anything. That maybe we could carry the discussion over for tomorrow because it's very deep. I appreciate all the calls that came in today. You fellas were right on a hot day. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Be safe tonight now. Don't get into no trouble. And pray that God will help us to save the Commonwealth of Bahamas. Have a very pleasant afternoon and all the best to you.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.